This is Ari with Land Insights, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to use zip codes paired along with certain data points to gauge pricing in certain markets. Now, not every investor will go to this level of detail, but for those of you that do, it's important that we do this once we've already determined that we like a certain zip code or county in general for its overall performance. I'm just going to go ahead and move into my markets area in order to complete this analysis. Really what I want to do is initially when I come in here, I'm going to make sure I set up my tooltip to reflect the data points that I want to use for this process. Another thing is just make sure that you are not looking at the entire county and that you're also not looking at the entire county's acreage, right? So if I hover over one of these counties, you'll notice that the minimum and maximum price per acre over these timeframes jumps up wildly. Obviously, that's not going to help us at all. So there's a couple of things we can do to refine that. The first thing is let's look at a specific acreage range, right? We could do this from this county-wide perspective when we're looking across all zip codes. But the issue here is we'll still find a lot of variability, especially if this county butts up to certain cities and then also has certain rural areas in them as well. So I personally like looking at zip codes first. Once that loads, we can go ahead and dig in deeper to the zip codes within that county. It looks like there are only two here in this particular county, but now you can see that those areas of the city, they still might be a little bit crazy in terms of variance and harder to price. And you'll notice that by looking at the Gini as well as the price per acre shifts. But if we do find something that's a little bit more homogeneous, then in this case, you'll see that the price per acre from 3 months to 6 months actually holds pretty true. The last thing that I want to see is a huge shift in those numbers. So I'm not going to focus on 22960 here in Orange County, Virginia. I'm going to focus on 22567. And now when I'm looking at this particular market, I'm actually going to move to a different acreage range to see if there's additional value that we can find in that price per acre goes down as we get larger in our acreage. Another note here is I don't really care what the heat map data point I'm using is because I'm not focusing on this by the heat map. If you did want to get creative and use a heat map data point for this process, you could do that, but I don't necessarily find it useful. I'm going to go ahead and move over to my acreage range and choose 5 to 10 acres. Once it does that, just know, this is a lot of zip code data. Right now, I'm not filtered to one state, so it's looking at all the zip codes that I have added to my markets at one time. So if I did want to filter to this state, it might go a little faster when it's loading. But this is also a great opportunity to see the price breaker does go down a bit, but it's still fairly homogeneous, actually extremely homogeneous. So from 5 to 10 acres, it seems like we still have a really easy time here pricing the information in this county, and that's just going to give me confidence when I take this county to or the zip code to send out blind offers or maybe even just comp. This is going to help me feel confident when I'm sending out my marketing. So if I shift up to 10 to 20 acres, I'm looking for the same amount uh, of variance here. It looks like there's not a lot of popularity when it comes to Orange County, Virginia in the zip code 22567 when it comes to 10 to 20 acres. So this may show me a couple of different things. It might mean that it's just not worth marketing to this band of data if it's not performing, or if I know subdivision regulations and I know that I can subdivide in Orange County, Virginia, it may be possible that I choose to market to this area and I break it down further to a 5 to 10 acre property. Now, this video is not about identifying subdivision regulation, or excuse me, subdivide opportunities. But if you do want to look at how to do that, you can do that in both my markets by looking at different zip codes and data points, or you can do that in the campaigns area by doing the same thing. In this video, we're just focusing on price, and so understanding whether or not it'll be easy to price when we pull that data. Now, in this case, this county, as we go higher and higher, even though there doesn't seem to be too many comps, we do see that this data is fairly congruent with a low Gini. Even the 440 to 100 acres range, even though there's not a lot of data here at all. So that's just something to consider here. Now, while we're trying to gauge price, this might convince you not to market to a certain zip code. It might help you make decisions on other areas of your marketing. But overall, this is a quick and easy way to decide on whether or not you feel comfortable marketing to a certain zip code based on, or a certain county, based on how easy it is to price. If you have any questions on how to do this for zip codes or any other questions pertinent to using zip codes to better understand the pricing of certain markets, feel free to reach out to us at hello@landinsights.co, or you can always reach out to us on the bottom right of your platform.